Hi everyone, I'm Bryton. Today we're making Alice in Wonderland's Eat Me cookies. Now there's two versions. The first one is the Disney version that we know. So those are the colorful little cookies in the dish that have Eat Me written on them. Now these are sugar cookies and we use royal icing to decorate. With this batch, we're also showing you how to make checkerboard cookies as well because those were in the dish. Now the second version is the ones that you know from the book. These are the Eat Me cookies written with currants. So I will show you how to make both of them. So to make these, you're going to take 227 grams or 1 cup of butter and mix that in your mixer. Pour in 1 cup of white sugar, 2 large eggs, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, 1 pinch of salt and 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and 3 cups of plain flour. Because we're going to be making checkerboard cookies, you're going to want to take about a tennis ball size of the same dough and just set that aside. Roll your dough into cling wrap and refrigerate for about an hour. Once it's chilled, pull it out and preheat your oven to 175 degrees Celsius or 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Slice off another tennis ball size of your dough and set it aside for your checkerboard cookies. Then dust your board with flour and roll out until about 1 centimeter thick. For the first part, just take your knife and cut out rectangular cookies and pop those onto a baking tray. Then you're going to continue with your stars and your circles. And if you don't have certain shapes, just print them out onto paper and create a template and just cut out with your knife. To make your royal icing, you're going to need to separate your egg whites from your egg yolks. And in a mixer, pour in your egg whites and give that a mix. Then give a squeeze of 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. Now if you've already sifted your icing sugar, that's great, but I'm going to sift it right into the bowl and you need 3 cups of sifted icing sugar for this. Then you're going to pop it back on and give it a good mix. Now we're starting off by piping the edges first, so your first batch of icing needs to be thick enough. Once it's thick enough, scoop into individual bowls, that way we can add colors to each one. Now to make sure it doesn't get too runny, I prefer using gel colors. And we use colors such as yellows, pinks, but just remember you can also use the color wheel and mix your basic colors to create the ones you're needing. Just remember with gel colors, it really doesn't take much to get to the vibrancy that you need. Once the cookies have cooled, we're going to start icing them. You're going to need small piping bags for each color and scoop only part of the icing into the bag. Twist, snip off the top, and edge cookies. Once you're finished, set them all aside to dry for a bit. The icing that you've used in the bag set aside because you'll use that same consistency for the final decorating. And with the additional royal icing in the individual bowls, add a teaspoon of milk to each and mix to make a smoother, more runnier icing. Then, using a piping bag or a small spoon, you can pour and sort of maneuver the icing so the cookie is flooded within the edges that you've just piped. Once those are all flooded, let them dry. Then finish it off with piping extra designs on top and make sure you dry before serving. If you're needing ideas in terms of what the cookie should look like, I have a cookie guide on the blog that helps you see what the Alice in Wonderland cookies should look like. For your checkerboard cookies, you would have seen at the beginning that we cut aside a tennis ball worth of normal dough. You're going to want to place back into the mixer and add 2 heaped teaspoons of cocoa powder and mix that until it's well combined. At the same time you're doing the refrigerating the first round of dough, you're going to want to wrap the chocolate cookie dough in cling wrap and refrigerate for an hour as well. Once it's chilled, you're going to take your chocolate and your light colored dough and roll each of those out so it's about 1 inch thick. Slice the dough into long strips, but where the ends look square. To put it together, we whisk together 1 egg and a little bit of water to create an egg wash. Then we wipe down the edges of the dough and alternate pressing together dark and light dough strips. So each base has 3 on the bottom, 3 in the middle, and 3 on the top. So you alternate so it looks like a checkerboard once it's cut. So in this case we went light, dark, light, and then on the next layer we went dark, light, dark, and then to finish it off we went light, dark, light. Now with this you should end up with a square-ended rectangular box. Grab a sharp knife and slice through the cookie dough top to bottom. So you're cutting off the cookies to show the checkerboard pattern. Bake these for 8 to 10 minutes and let them cool before you serve. The Eat Me cookies inspired by the book Alice in Wonderland is similar to the sugar cookies, except it has 1 tablespoon of baking powder mixed in just to have it rise up a bit more. We also use a handful of currants to spell out the words. We also don't chill this dough. Instead, we mix all the ingredients together and roll it straight out and cut into squares and rectangles. Then you take scissors and cut the currants into smaller, tiny pieces. And using a skewer, you can press the currants into the dough to spell out "Eat Me." Then at 175 degrees Celsius or 350 degrees Fahrenheit, you bake these until they're golden brown, so about 10 to 20 minutes.